Globally, carbon dioxide (CO2) emissions reached about 37.15 billion tons in 2022, with transportation responsible for approximately 20.7% of this total, or 7.69 billion tons.
Malaysia's maritime industry operates under a comprehensive and multi-layered legal framework that governs every aspect of shipping, port operations, and vessel safety. At its foundation lies the Merchant Shipping Ordinance 1952, MSO 1952, the principal federal statute regulating the registration of ships, qualifications and certification of seafarers, safety of navigation, liability, and overall compliance with international maritime conventions. The MSO 1952 applies primarily to Peninsular Malaysia and Labuan, but several of its provisions have been formally extended to Sabah and Sarawak, ensuring nationwide consistency in maritime regulation. In East Malaysia, both states maintain their own laws: the Merchant Shipping Ordinance 1960, Sabah, and the Merchant Shipping Ordinance 1960, Sarawak, which operate alongside the federal MSO 1952 without conflict. These ordinances were retained from the colonial legal system prior to the formation of Malaysia in 1963, but have since been harmonized to align with the federal framework. Complementing the MSO are several sector-specific statutes that ensure navigational safety and technical oversight. The Federation Light Dues Act 1953, Act 250, regulates the collection of light dues to fund the operation and maintenance of lighthouses and navigational aids. Meanwhile, the Petroleum Safety Measures Act 1984 prescribes detailed rules for the transport, storage, and handling of petroleum and related substances to prevent marine pollution and accidents in port areas. Another important statute is the Langkawi International Yacht Registry Act 2003, LIYR Act 2003, which establishes the Langkawi International Yacht Registry, LIYR, as a special purpose registry for yachts and pleasure craft. This act was introduced to position Malaysia, particularly Langkawi, as a premier regional hub for leisure, charter, and luxury yachting. Under the LIYR framework, yachts are classified into two main categories: commercial and non-commercial. Non-commercial yachts are those operated solely for private, recreational, or personal leisure purposes, where the owner or their guests use the vessel without receiving any form of charter income. Commercial yachts, on the other hand, are those operated for charter, hire, or reward, allowing them to be leased to third parties for tourism or business purposes. Despite this distinction, the LIYR imposes a strict operational limit on both categories. A vessel registered under the LIYR may carry a maximum of 12 passengers. This limit aligns with the SOLAS definition of a passenger ship, which classifies any vessel carrying more than 12 passengers as a passenger ship subject to stricter international safety conventions. If a yacht registered under the LIYR wishes to carry more than 12 passengers, it must comply with additional certification requirements issued under the Merchant Shipping Ordinance 1952. For domestic voyages, the vessel must obtain a passenger certificate, PC, issued by the Marine Department Malaysia under the MSO 1952. For international voyages, the vessel must be certified with a Passenger Ship Safety Certificate, PSSC, in accordance with the SOLAS Convention, which Malaysia has implemented domestically through the MSO 1952 and related subsidiary regulations. These certification requirements ensure that yachts transitioning from private or limited capacity operations to commercial passenger service meet the necessary safety, equipment, and crew standards stipulated under both national and international maritime law. Thus, while the LIYR encourages investment and flexibility in Malaysia's yachting sector, it still maintains alignment with global safety conventions, ensuring that Malaysia's registry remains internationally credible and compliant. Integration into broader legal framework. To facilitate technical regulation and administrative efficiency, the MSO 1952 empowers the Minister of Transport to issue subsidiary legislation, commonly published as Pemberitahu Undangan, PU, or legal notifications. These subsidiary laws, comprising regulations, orders, and rules, are essential in translating the broad provisions of acts into practical technical standards. They cover matters such as ship construction, crew training, pollution prevention, and certification procedures, and are published in the Federal Gazette to give them legal force. Beyond federal laws, Malaysia's legal structure includes bylaws and state enactments. Bylaws are a specific form of subsidiary legislation enacted by local authorities under the Local Government Act 1976, Act 171, to regulate local matters such as port operations, jetty maintenance, waste management, and small boat safety. These bylaws must be approved by the state authority and gazetted in the State Gazette before becoming enforceable. At the state level, legislative powers are exercised by the State Legislative Assembly, Dewan Undangan Negeri, DUN, under the Federal Constitution's 9th Schedule. In Peninsular Malaysia, state laws are called enactments, enactmen, and are assented to by the Sultan or Governor. For example, Enactment Kerajaan Tempatan Kedah 1978. In Sabah and Sarawak, equivalent state laws are known as ordinances, a reflection of their distinct constitutional heritage. Both enactments and ordinances operate within the matters listed in the state list, such as local government, inland waters, ports, excluding federal ports, and environmental management. Thank you for watching this presentation on Malaysia's maritime legal and regulatory framework. I hope this session has deepened your understanding of how the Merchant Shipping Ordinance, subsidiary laws, and maritime acts work together to shape Malaysia's maritime governance system. For more detailed information and additional resources, you may scan the QR code shown on the screen or visit the link or visit.com HL@211-2025. Please open your app to see this link. Once again, thank you for your time, and I wish you continued success in exploring the world of maritime management.